one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Congratulations on finally getting to the Hall of Fame. Once you got the call that you were going in, how did it make you feel, and what was your reaction?
Well, I love the way that the Hall has coordinated these knocks. It's I think it makes for some pretty incredible stories and moments. The fact that it's, now you have wives and family members working together to scheme up these surprises. Each one of them just kind of has a unique kind of perspective that goes along with it. And, the Hall, look, we all have guys that we've looked up to for years and years in this league. And so to have another gold jacket actually delivering the message to you in so many cases, these are guys that are very meaningful people to us. And so that just brings out a whole nother level of emotion. So my family got me. My wife set me up pretty well, and my daughter, to make that such a special moment.
What are you looking forward to the most during enshrinement weekend?
You know what? It's I know it's going to be a whirlwind. I'm trying to slow it down. There's a lot that's going to happen. A lot of really cool moments. From the Ray Nitschke luncheon with all of the Hall of Famers. I've heard so many incredible stories about that. Gold jacket dinner. A lot of the community events that'll take place. Obviously, the enshrinement itself and everything that goes along there, and then the party afterwards, where you have a chance to see so many people that have been such a integral part of the journey.
What would you say was the most profound moment in your career?
Oh man, you talking about NFL?
NFL, correct.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's so many great moments. Obviously, a highlight was the Super Bowl after the 2009 season, and really that wasn't just I don't look at that as a single year. I look at that as a 4-year journey from when we all got there in 2006. So many of us coming from other places, maybe somewhat discarded. Like I left the San Diego Chargers with a really bad shoulder injury. Wasn't sure if I'd be able to play football again, to be perfectly honest. There was a lot of free agent guys that came in that year from other places. Scott Fujita became a great leader for our team during that run. He had kind of bounced around with a few teams, and it was kind of his only option. Scott Shanley gets traded over from the Cowboys, trade for Jeff Fain, who ended up being a great center for us and Pro Bowl player for a couple of years. We trade for the Cleveland Browns. I mean, like all these, it was like this cast of characters that just, kind of came in, but with this very common belief and value structure around not only, maybe proving some people wrong and showing them that we could play, but also recognize the responsibility that we had to the community in New Orleans in helping to rebuild post-Katrina, and what an integral part we could all be in that. And so that's what started the special journey, and then we began to just fill in, the pieces. You draft, the Reggie Bushes and the Roman Harpers and Malcolm Jenkins, and you go out and get Jonathan Vilman, free agency, and continue to develop young players. And all of a sudden, we go into the 2009 season, and we literally looked at each other in training camp, and we were like, we are really, really good. Like, we're going to go win a world championship this year.
Who would you say had the biggest influence or impact on your career on or off the field?
I mean, there's so many. It's hard to single out one. I came from a very athletic family. So my grandfather, Ray Akins, he coached Texas high school football for 38 years. He retired as the second winningest high school football coach in Texas history. So I spent many a summer with him down at Gregory Portland High School in Portland, Texas, which is outside of Corpus Christi. My brother Reed and I were the water boys. So day one, we would show up to training camp, and the defensive coordinator, Coach Robertson, would stick our head over the trash can, give us a buzz cut, and it was like our indoctrination in a training camp. And we'd go out with this green electrolyte water and just give it to all the players. And boy, it was hot. It was like 115 degrees down in South Texas on the coast. But that was football, basically playing on like a dirt patch. You've seen the movie The Junction Boys. It looked like The Junction Boys. And it felt like it too. But that was that was life. That was football. That was Texas high school football at its finest. Brought communities together on Friday nights, many a Friday night, sitting around watching my grandfather coach, and it inspired me in so many ways. Not just him as a coach and being around it that way, but the man he was, the way he lived his life, the values he instilled in his players and his family. And he retired in 1988 and became a cattle rancher for the last 10 years of his life. And so a lot of summers spent working with him on the ranch, feeding cows, baling hay.
Luke was here a moment
digging
ago.
fence post holes.
You went up against a lot of great guys in your heyday, and you were one of the best of the best. But who did you always look forward to going up against?
Well, Luke Kuechly is one of my favorite players of all time, and the greatest defensive player that I played against. And I played against him 15 times. Obviously being in the same division and just watching his entire career, I just knew this. It wasn't Panther week; it was Kuechly week. It was like I'm going up against the version of me on the other side, right? Like the quarterback of the defense, the guy who I know is sitting there grinding in the film room. He's studying everything that we're doing, every little tendency. Like we have to be so on point. We're not going to be able to trick him. Like we have to take advantage of every opportunity we get. We can't make any mistakes. It was just, it made you have to play the game with just like such a heightened level of like attention to detail. And playing against those types of guys would bring out the best in me. Whether it was a quarterback on the other side going up against the Peyton Mannings or the Tom Brady's or the Aaron Rodgers or others, like he was that guy on defense.
Luke, you're one of the few players that can say that now you are a Hall of Famer. When you first started playing, was this the end goal?
I think the end goal when you were a kid, when I first started playing, was I played on a 3rd and 4th grade team, a 5th and 6th grade team, and then a 7th and 8th grade team. So as a young player on the young side, so if you were in 7th grade, you wanted to play on the 7th and 8th grade team as a 7th grader. So your goal was always very short-sighted as a young player, and I don't think in my wildest dreams this was ever something as a young player that I thought about. It was always, I just want to play on the grade school team and be the guy that gets to put his helmet on, his jersey on, and go out there we played on Sundays as a little kid, go out there and play the game of football.
Can you share with me a little bit about what your overall reaction was once you found out that you were officially going into the Hall?
I started sweating. You can watch the video. I walked into my house, and when I left the house, there were 2 people, and when I got back, Julius Peppers was standing there, and my brother came from out of town, my mom came from out of town, and there was probably 30 people in there, and I was very, very much surprised. And we went around the room last night and they asked, were you guys surprised about the knock? And I absolutely was. So I think when I walked in to my house, the initial reaction was, why are all these people here? And then you look, and Pep was standing there in his gold jacket with a big smile on his face. So at that point, you kind of understood this is what's going on, this is what's happening, and it was a very cool moment for me, my family, and everybody associated with us.
What are you looking forward to the most during enshrinement weekend?
Oh man, I think being around all the guys, both guys that I've played with, my buddies, that dated back all the way to high school, college, guys I played with in Carolina, and then all of the guys that are gold jacket guys. And it's fun. You get to look around, like you said, you walk into that bus room and see all the guys, and we got a little bit of a feel for that at Super Bowl. John Lynch and Rondé Barber and Brian Urlacher and some of the older guys as well. The list goes on, and for me to have the opportunity to just talk to those guys, and I'm very curious, like, what are you doing now? What's it been like? I've got a million questions about a wide range of things that now we have an opportunity to go talk to all those guys. I think that's the most unique thing about it.
Who would you say had the most impact on you on and off the field?
I think it's certainly my parents, just work ethic, how to treat people, how to just always do the right thing, and being a good teammate. I think those are the things that you learn, and just being a good person, I think, solves a lot of those problems. From when you're on a football team and there's 11 guys in the field at once, the most important thing to do is your job, and how you do your job says what kind of teammate you are. Do you do it? Are you consistent? Are you tough? Do you give tremendous effort? Those are all decisions that you make, and it's your job as a member of that team to do that. And as you get older, there's tape and there's film, and everybody sees how everybody does, and you can't hide, and people see that, and it's your job to be a great teammate. And I think that's something that we learned from my brothers and I learned from our parents was do the right thing, work hard, be a good teammate. It's pretty straightforward, but it's hard to do. You know, there's a lot of shortcuts, there's a lot of easy ways out, but if you always just do the right thing, a lot of times stuff works out.